Well, if we've learned anything from last night's American election, it is possibly that the old adage, polls are for dogs, really is accurate, especially in the United States. Now, many of the pollsters were predicting a Biden cakewalk, that Biden was going to take this. He was going to pass probably 300 electoral college votes, that the Democrats were going to make gains in the House and the Senate, and it was just going to be a blue wave, so to speak, or at the very, very least, a strong, strong Biden victory. They got it completely wrong, just like they did in 2016. Now, there's a number of reasons for this. Number one is probably that many conservatives feel it's not okay to share your political beliefs with, with people in real life or at work, because that can lead to actual real life consequences. There have been a number of stories of people getting fired, people having, problems with their families, or just having other real life issues because they've outed themselves as a conservative or a Trump supporter, or they've just been very, very active on, Second Amendment or some other traditionally conservative issue or Republican issue, and that has caused them actual real life problems. Second is that when people were called or phoned for a poll and asked who they would like to vote for, there was this sort of idea that many people were playing the world's greatest dad joke and saying that they would actually vote for Biden, but they really intended to vote for Donald Trump. And so people intentionally lying to pollsters was sort of funny for many people because of the shock, I think, that happened in 2016, where the chances of Hillary winning were like 90-something crazy percent, 90-something percent. And I think everyone was in shock. I think many Trump supporters were even in a big shock that he won that election. And so there's that idea. And there's many other reasons why. There's the fact that people don't have the same landline. You can't grab them during dinner. You gotta maybe contact them online. There's many, many factors as to why polling might be wrong. But what about Canada? Do we tend to see the same kind of results in Canada? Well, a little bit different. We don't have the same American culture, but the pollsters, let's have a quick snapshot at this. The pollsters, this is from a CBC poll tracker story, and it shows their sort of average. These are the election results. Now, this is by the popular vote, so this is not the number of seats, or, again, we don't have an electoral college, but this is the popular vote on the top, the actual final results, and this is the polling that was predicted. Now, you can see here that a lot of the, pretty much every poll here has the Liberals winning, except for, very, very small handful, but they all have the Liberals winning or very strong. And even the ones that don't have the Liberals up here, you can see here's this one from Angus Reid, had the Conservatives up. That doesn't necessarily mean that they would get the most seats because of the way that the seats are concentrated, where the seats are spread out. And if you look at the Wikipedia page, which has the nice results here for the 2019 election, you can see that Andrew Scheer actually did get more popular vote, although he did not obviously get the most amount of seats, 157 for the Liberals to 121 at the time for the Conservatives. So polling in Canada tended to be a bit better, but what should we do? How should we think about polling? Well, number one, anytime you read things from pollsters, you want to be skeptical because you don't necessarily know the methodology, you don't necessarily know the sample size, you don't know, maybe it was all weighted down in Toronto, maybe it was all weighted down out in the West, maybe it was all weighted down by a certain demographic. These are all things that could skew a poll and give you an unfair or misrepresentation of what is actually going on. And that is very important because the media is going to pick up on that, and they will talk about that. That will start to form part of the narrative. So when you have, for example, poll after poll after poll talking about Justin Trudeau winning, people just start believing that he's going to win. That is one of the factors that can actually make that happen by people's behavior, either stopping conservatives from going to the polls or making sure that liberals actually do get out and go to the polls. So the ways in which we talk about it can also skew the actual results. And so polling in and of itself should always be taken with a grain of salt. It's good to maybe do them because you definitely want to know, especially if you are interested in running for office, or you're actually running for office. You want to know sort of where the barometer is sitting on a number of issues, and so that is definitely a good thing to do. But polls should always be taken with a grain of salt. Now, ultimately, the only poll that really matters is the election day result. That's really the only thing. People are coming, they're voting. You're getting one vote per person, and again, we're excluding any shenanigans or funny business. We're just talking about the system itself, how it's supposed to work. You're getting one vote per person, and so ultimately, that's the only way that you're going to know who wanted who to be the leader. Again, you can have questions about the democratic system that we're using, or compared to some other system, first past the post, or mixed member proportionality, or some direct voting by popular vote. But again, ultimately, that is the only poll that does matter, because that is going to decide who gets to be elected and who is going to be the leader of the country, whether it's Canada, America, or any other country that has a functioning democracy. So a lot of stuff to think about. Really interesting. I'm really curious to see what polling for the next Canadian election is going to be. Some of the provincial elections coming up. What is the polling going to be like? And what do you guys think? Do you feel that you would give the same answers to a pollster, right? Are there some issues that might make you shy about, saying that you're a strong conservative, a strong liberal, or a strong NDPer? Would there be some reason why you would not tell the truth? What do you guys think? I'd be really curious to hear what you have to think in the comments. So, for True North, I am Sam Eskenasi. Thank you so much for watching this video. Still haven't found out who the president is, but possibly by the time you watch it, we will already know who the next president of the United States is. So thank you so much, and have yourselves a great day.